Today on the Star Trek Critic, an episode that covers a very dark crime in a way only Star Trek can. Violations. And the actual name of the crime will not be mentioned on this video since the YouTube censors don't like it. This video starts with Keiko. The Ullians are hitching a ride to Caldera 4, where they are creating a memory museum. These telepaths are skilled at probing a person's memories that have been almost forgotten. This will come in handy whenever you forget where you left your car keys. But Keiko has a memory of a cup, but nothing else, and they help her recover the full memory of how she helped her grandmother when she was a little girl. Tarmin is very boastful and loves his trade, but this comment, although he means well, will get him in trouble in the future. Does this move count as a Picard maneuver? Geordi and Data discuss probing memories. In reality, it is possible for Data to forget something, since memory chips can get damaged as well. It's also possible he would need to purge some memories to speed up his processes. He would probably do it like this, and save excess memories in an external hard drive. Here is more foreshadowing. Geordi says sometimes the bad memories are more intense. 1 point lost for opening credits 6 minutes into the show. That's interesting. This scene looks just like one from a movie that was filmed on the same set. Tarmin is a bit pompous. He loves cutting off his son and bragging. The memory library is an elaborate idea. In reality, it's surprising they have been able to catalog 11 planets so far, and not just 2 or 3. Hopefully on Earth of the future we will have something like this. Beverly wants to find out deep dark secrets of Captain Picard, but he is on to her. Enad makes a public service announcement when she says people must be willing participants. This is also a unique comment about how some people just need to be encouraged. It makes you wonder how many comments in this show can have double meanings due to the plot of the show. Klingons do not like being probed. That can be taken in more than one way too. This is important since you rarely know how much time passes during specific episodes. She says the first baseman is a lot like his father. 1 point lost for Deanna in a catsuit for ratings. Jev is sick of being belittled by his father, so takes off. It looks like he is going to throw up. I don't blame him for leaving, even though he is a jerk. Deanna decides to offer a little moral support, since her mom does quite the same thing. Look closely. They are waiting outside the turbolift on deck 3. 1 point is lost for a single set of doors on the turbolift. And 1 point lost since she got right back off on level 3.
Let's get back to this quick phrase. It can be taken even one more way. This could also apply to victims out there who need the encouragement to come forward and report what has happened, since so many of these incidents have gone unreported.
Another point lost since the replicator panel is also from Star Trek 6. Either these sets were used in the TV show and the movie, or she has a 75-year-old replicator. And this act really sucks. Deanna was giving him words of encouragement after his dad put him down for the last hour, and this is how he thanks her. But shout out to the Star Trek crew in making this such an awful scene. According to the stardate, about 10 hours have passed. This is a real part of the brain, not a Trek term. Picard thinks the first baseman spoke to her. Beverly thinks it might be a virus. As usual, extras cross whenever doors open. Will is so upset he does the Riker maneuver, followed by the Picard maneuver. Riker should have talked with Jev privately, and he seems to be pretty abrupt with him, but a coma is a serious thing. Patients who have been through comas admitted they were able to hear people while they were under. Deanna says I love you. Will says I know. Riker is playing with his iPod while sitting at a computer. And now another violation. Just how much of a telepathic range does the Ullian have? You never learn who Keller is, but I bet there are several that have died under his watch. Now he is in a coma too. I bet that hurt when his head hit the counter. About another 10 hours have passed. Beverly says it almost looks like Erisine syndrome, but not quite. Worf wants to quarantine the aliens. Picard blows him off. But Beverly says there is a connection, so Picard says, "Oh, Worf, it looks like you were right as usual." Worf is thinking, nobody ever listened to Wesley either. Tarmin is visibly upset, and Enad was convinced everyone would love her Princess Leia hairstyle. Sadly, neither know what their son is up to. Enad wants to help, but instead of quarantine them on very little evidence, Beverly suggests another memory probe like they did with Keiko, and she will monitor and see if she can find anything. I don't think Jev is really this happy to cooperate. Keiko gets an examination, but Beverly couldn't find anything. Down in engineering, Geordi argues with the computer about compounds on the Enterprise, but none of them are found. Geordi always knows what I'm going to say next. Like he is a reading rainbow or something. Dr. Martin says goodnight. It's always good to see secondary characters on the ship, and the producers try hard to make them as diverse as possible. I wish I could see them more, since the ship has a crew of 1,000. But with the way TV shows are created, they only use the stars, and it makes you feel like only 7 people have jobs most of the time. Beverly's violation has a lot of internet controversy considering which uniforms they should be wearing, since Jack's death happened 15 years ago. My take on all of this is that since Jev is forcing these memories on her and the others, they might not be completely accurate. And since they are dreams, I can't take points for errors, but I can take a point for no one finding Beverly in her office sooner. She still has a 24-hour staff. Geordi has checked and rechecked. They have ruled out everything but the Ullians. Data says I number 1. 1 point is lost here, since if this has been happening at 11 different planets, someone should have made the connection, even with the explained comas. Deanna has regained consciousness. She blames the third baseman. She said it was horrible. It was worse than the narrator using an AI-generated voice. She went 3 days without chocolate. Picard hasn't said this phrase in decades. He is frightened and doesn't know why. All she remembers is her hair. Picard expresses his concern to the Ullians. Tarman is visibly upset. Jev mentions an intentional assault. Has he been doing these violations to intentionally target his own father, or because he is a deranged addict? Possibly both, but targeting his father will get him out of trouble. And Tarman refusing to participate just helps Jev. Normally I would take a plot point for this, but not this time. Geordi recommended Data to look for explained comas at the planets they visited, and instantly they found one. It would be easy to find a pattern of explained comas at 11 planets when they are all in close proximity to aliens from another planet. 1 point loss for Dr. Martin not being present. Jev is a dirtbag, but he is also very skilled to be able to force a memory of Tarman in place of the memory of him in her nightmare, and right in front of Picard and his own mother. This is a reminder to the potential victims out there to always be on the lookout for these skilled dirtbags. About 15 hours have passed since the last log. This is a serious blow against the Ullian planet and their goal of a memory library. Jean-Luc performs the Picard maneuver while Jev talks about why these acts are done. When he is really talking about himself, he is confessing his sins right after he framed his own father. Geordi and Data are retrieving their final evidence. According to this stardate, this incident happened just a week before they boarded the Enterprise. Jev goes to Deanna's quarters to say goodbye. Is this a mirror or a painting? This answers the narrator's previous question. He really is an addict. Shout out to Marina Sirtis. Since it must be difficult for women to portray this type of a victim on a TV show, when in real life it's possible, they might have gone through the real thing. But it is very important for the film industry to encourage victims that they are not alone and to speak out to help prevent these types of things from happening in the future to others. It's not often the Next Gen series has a good fight scene. Deanna kneed him a few times and Worf gave him a good palm slap. About 16 hours have passed since the last captain's log. Poor Tarman is beside himself, knowing that his own son has been doing this right under his nose. He mentions that these crimes haven't been done in nearly 300 years. So Picard gives a not-so-helpful speech saying Earth is better than his planet, and we don't do that anymore, even though Tarman just said it hasn't happened on his own planet in 300 years. And his comment about the seeds of violence makes you wonder if on Earth of the future they probe your brain to remove that seed of violence. Eve Brenner will be turning 100 this year.
Yes!
She has 80 screen credits, including The X-Files, Quantum Leap, and she will be back on Voyager. She was also on the beach of Baywatch. Craig Benton was the crewman with 20 screen credits. Rick Fitz has 125 screen credits, including The A-Team, The Bold and the Beautiful, and he will be back on Voyager. David Sage has 50 screen credits, including The Greatest American Hero, Quantum Leap, and Babylon 5. And Ben Lemon has 34 screen credits, including Murder, She Wrote, Jag, and Melrose Place. He portrayed an excellent dirtbag. Violations, an excellent description of a horrible crime, gets a high score of 92%. This is why Star Trek is great science fiction, putting today's problems in the future to see how they deal and cope with it. Thank you for watching the Star Trek Critic. Be sure to leave comments below, click the like button, the share button, and the subscribe button, and come back next week for the Masterpiece Society.